I'm back with the second and final episode of the Turkish series Creature. I'll recommend those who are watching this video for the first time to watch the previous episode, the link of which is given in the comments. However, I'll tell you the story in a nutshell. In the 1900s, an epidemic spread in the city of Bursa, killing many people. Zia's mother fell victim to it. So, in search of a cure for Marin's disease, she travels to Istanbul to study medicine. There, she meets Ishan, a former teacher at the medical college. From him, Zia learns that he has researched a mysterious Iranian book, the Book of Resurrection, and has built a machine that can bring the dead back to life. However, one day, while testing it, an accident occurs and Ishan dies. But in the intoxication of discovering something new, Zia revives the dead Ishan with the help of that machine. However, Zia's joy does not last long, because she realizes that the Ishan who has returned after death is no longer the same as before. So, to find out what happened next, you have to watch today's video. Zia runs away to the seashore with excitement. She has to leave Ishan behind and escape to Bursa no matter what. But her fate is in despair. Because the ship returning to Bursa will leave tomorrow, she does not notice that she has come to Istanbul with Muzaffar on the next ship. She got secret information from one of G and Dick that there is only one person here who can take her to Bursa today. That is how she met Harun. Seeing the man, she felt like a total slut. Zia agreed to go in exchange for whatever money she had. Then the boat set off from Adanya in Bursa. There was no choice but to see Ishan standing on the bank, feeling depressed and lonely. Upon reaching the college, Muzaffar learned that Zia had left college after Ishan had been washed away by the sea. A few days ago, a house fire had killed Ishan. Yunus was present at the scene, so he handled the situation. He explained that Zia would leave for Bursa today. Yunus took them to Hamdi Baba. After going there and learning the whole story from the beginning of Zia's arrival in Istanbul, the two were surprised as usual. Meanwhile, Ishan was wandering aimlessly on the dark streets. He had no idea where to go or what to do. For the first time, Ishan was stuck when he saw his own reflection. The handsome Ishan's face flashed like a flash of memory. Suddenly, his beloved pet Darwin came running to him. When every person in the city had pushed him away, this God-fearing Darwin had not forgotten him. Seeing him, some old memories came back. The speechless Darwin seemed to be saying, "We understand the loyalty thing. You are only human." Ishan hugged him and fell asleep on a corner of the road. On the other hand, Harun understood that Zia was lying, because this boat was occupied by those who wanted to escape after committing crimes. Then, with fear and anxiety, the boat moved forward, tearing the chest of the sea in the cold night. In the morning, he woke up to the sound of several footsteps. Some people came and lured him with food and took Darwin away to be smuggled abroad in exchange for money. There was no other way but to look at the helpless Ishan. The corners of his eyes were teary. After regaining consciousness, he had lost his only companion. As the day grew, Ishan went out to the market in search of food. Suddenly, a freight car overturned and crushed a young boy. The car was so heavy that no one around could lift him. When the child was in great pain, Ishan used his infinite strength to save the child. However, this incident in the market caught Vasily's attention. Thinking that Ishan was a leper, he brought him to Hamdi Baba to feed him. Vasily realized that he was not a leper, but that his body had been burned in an accident. And perhaps because of that accident, he had also lost the ability to speak. While paying the food price, Ishan Hamdi vaguely remembers hearing his father's voice. But what will the others say when they see him? Due to this shyness, he doesn't say anything, because he doesn't know whether he is a human or a creature himself. Meanwhile, Zia somehow reaches home and loses consciousness due to a high fever. Everyone has several questions on their minds. What happened to him? By then, Vasily brings Ishan to his circus group. Vasily's family includes all the people whom society has kept away as different and untouchable. Simple Fatimai looks at the newcomer Ishan with worried eyes. The same money is involved. There is no proper food. So Ali gets angry when he sees the new member. Until now, Hossein used to act like Bahubali in their group. That is, he shows off his strength by doing tricks. But he is old. His body is quite bad. He doesn't know how long he can take him. Right. Vasily proposes that Hossein will teach Ishan all his tricks. Even if Ishan can't say anything, he will understand as much as he needs to understand and get the circus work done. Ishan is like a lottery to them. His extraordinary power will solve the financial problems of the group. Vasily is shocked when Aliki shows Ishan's power. In the meantime, the others have started coming one by one. Now they are his new family. In the evening, Muzaffar and Asai return home and are shocked to see Zia's condition. Who knows where the rest of his belongings are? He doesn't even have his own clothes to wear. Muzaffar is worried. Is Zia somehow responsible for Ishan's death? But Vasily is ready for the circus on the last night of Istanbul. Each of them is good at different sports. For Ishan, this is a new experience. Here, people bear the burden of their own humiliation and make money by making fun of themselves in front of everyone. Still, they are very happy. They make Jishan their own, the value that has been lost in the eyes of society take. This world is a huge stage where everyone is an actor or actress. While Esther is playing with snakes, he listens to his story of hell, Satan, and temptation, and the cursed incident that happened to Ishan slowly starts to come back to him like a nightmare. His previous identity, his existence, rebirth, and finally Zia. But who knows what will happen in the future? Omar asks, Zia, I understand everything. But why did you come to the mountains? The answer comes because of love. Be patient. If you don't listen to the whole thing, you will know how Zia woke up at that time. She has a fever, but Asai has 1,000 questions in her mind. Don't ask her. Just know. Keep it. I am leaving everything behind. Now I am getting married and going to live a good life. But Asai is angry until she knows the whole truth. She will not forgive Zia. Meanwhile, Master Hossein is busy teaching Ishan to play. Everyone knows that he has infinite power, but if he doesn't put on a little drama in front of the audience, he will go. The rest are watching this incident with amusement. Marika again makes a mask for him. She names him Hercules. Hearing this is the first time that Ishan smiles. Today, they will all leave for another city by ship. But due to lack of money, 3 of them have tickets, and the rest will have to go with the horse with some difficulty. After hearing this, no one felt sorry for once, because they were used to going like this. Even this time it was more fun because Eshan was with them Hercules, so Eshan answered for the first time with his own mouth, and everyone was surprised that their Hercules could even speak. Marika got a stomachache on the journey once. The responsibility of this stomach was that she was sold into prostitution at the age of just 12, and she is still carrying that pain, but one day, unable to bear the pain, she saved her life by tying a knife around her waist, and she ran away from that day, and she has that knife with her till today. Vasily gave her a new life, and these are her family. If anyone tries to hurt her family, he will put this knife in his chest. Eshan says, I am here. I will not let this circus get any harm. Then, when someone steals painkillers from Hussein for Marika, Eshan checks them, and everyone is surprised. They think they are misrecognizing Eshan. He is no ordinary person. On the other hand, after a long time of monologue, Zia tells Asia what happened in Istanbul. But Eshan's matter is a mystery. Finally, when all the problems between the two are resolved, Zia proposes marriage to her childhood sweetheart Asia. In the new city, Vasily is busy distributing circus leaflets. Today, their main attraction is Hercules Eshan. Some people sitting in the shop are looking at Marika with a bad eye. To them, women are considered objects of consumption. When night falls, everyone goes to the theater. A record number of tickets have been sold today. Everyone is very happy. Eshan has been taught a new dress. Marika started the program with her melodious voice. Hossein tied Eshan in iron chains and said, Hercules Babu, remember that power does not come from the arms, but from the mind and brain. While performing, remember those whom you hate the most. Your anger towards them will be your real power. This time it was Eshan's turn. Vasily immersed him in his story on stage. Because Hercules, the strongest man in the world, was about to come on stage. An Egyptian magician made this mask for him. When he wore it, infinite power came into his mind. Everyone's curiosity increased, and Eshan tore off the chains, which was filled with applause. Someone from the crowd even challenged him. But when Eshan defeated him, a child said, Hercules, lift me up with one hand. Saying this, he jumped on his lap with enthusiasm. When the child, pretending to be happy and funny, suddenly took off his mask, and everyone saw Eshan's face and thought him to be a ghost, and ran away. Eshan got very angry seeing the changing nature and lies of people. Vasily tried to calm him down and said, I am not Hercules. My name is Eshan, and I am not a human being. After the circus ended, everyone sat down with Eshan. What does Ali mean? It is not bad, but the mind of a person is bad. The outside world does not allow people like them to live. But this small family of theirs teaches everyone to live a new life by adopting them. The land of the so-called civilized people outside is not bigger than their minds. And this is the hard truth. When the night fell, Vasily stopped the 2 men from the market from coming and making a bad offer to Marika. Then they threatened to close the circus, and Eshan beat them up and apologized to Marika. But they left, saying that they would take revenge tomorrow morning. Eshan waited for them all night. What he had thought happened. As soon as morning came, they called the police from the city. Vasily hit Eshan, and went to handle the situation himself. He told them that there were reports that they were getting Muslim women to work in the circus and sell their bodies. Vasily said it was no big deal because not all of them were Muslims, and there was no body trade here. When the police wanted to see everyone's ID card and circus permit, Eshan immediately assured Fatimai and hid them in a box, because among all of them, there was a Muslim. Despite showing all of the ID cards, the situation gets heated when the police deliberately address Mariki as Eshan. When he goes to kill Mariki, Eshan comes between them. As a result, Hossein shoots the police to save him. Everyone is surprised by this sudden incident. What will they do now? Where will they go? Hossein doesn't want Eshan to get involved in all this, so he asks to escape, because Versailles will handle it no matter what. Hussein's physical condition is not good at all. He will not be able to bear the pain of prison, so Ali proposes that both Eshan and Hossein escape. Then, they will have to meet everyone in another city separately. But even if everyone has to escape, it will not be possible for Hossein. Then Eshan says, "Come on my shoulder. I will take you, because we are the same family." Hearing this, Hossein feels remorse and apologizes to everyone and suddenly kills himself. Everyone breaks down in this tragic incident. Especially Eshan asks everyone, including Fatimai, to leave before the police arrive. Eshan asks for the knife from Mariki and says, "You will live. It is your responsibility to ensure that this family does not see anyone else die. I will come now." Alki gave him some money and food and said, "Eshan, this family will never forget you." Helpless Eshan set off on an aimless journey with a heavy heart. Meanwhile, Zia asked everyone in his family for their consent to marry Asai. Muzaffar had probably lived for so long waiting for this day. That's why he and Nanny were very happy. After many days, their house would be filled with joy. On the other hand, Eshan reached a place across the jungle and ate the food given by Ali. He felt very alone in the crowd of selfish people. Where has his fate brought him today? After crossing the rivers, fields, and forests of the horizon, Eshan finally reached a village. Outside the village, two young boys were bothering a man named Zufar. Zufar was different from the rest. Although his body was like an adult, his brain had not developed. Eshan chased the boys away out of fear. Seeing this, Jafar thanked him and ran away into the forest. Eshan imitated his movement and entered the village in the hope of something new. However, he kept wandering around like this all the time. So, after searching for a long time, in the evening, when he went to enter the house, an old woman came out and shouted, "What happened, Jafar? How many times have I told you that there is no food now? Come tomorrow morning." The old woman's name is Nana Sire. When he entered the house, he saw a young girl. Her name was Esma. Seeing her scared, he calmed her down. Eshan was watching them through a hole in the stable. That's when Sahir, unfortunately, saw them. He came with a stick and asked, "Who are you?" Eshan stood silently in fear. This understanding started trouble by calling the villagers. But when Sahir kept poking in front of him with his stick, Eshan realized that he was blind. Eshan escaped by jumping. When he entered Sahir's room, Esma came out from a secret place under the floor. He realized that the pregnant Esma was hiding from someone. The cold was gradually increasing. He had to bring wood at night. Sahir said, "Don't worry. I will bring wood from the forest in the middle of the night. It is always night for me. However, if there was meat tonight, it would have been freezing. Meat is very important for Esma and her child." Eshan quietly listened to them and went straight to the forest. He brought a rabbit and a few bundles of wood, placed them in front of the door, and entered as a guest. When Sahir went out to bring wood at night, he was shocked to touch the things kept in front of the door. "What's the matter? Who brought these?" He didn't say anything, but looked at the stable and gave a sweet smile. He told Esma that some kind-hearted person left them. It doesn't seem like the villagers did it. It's not even Jafar's job. Today, after a long time, the two cooked biryani and ate heartily. As soon as Eshan came out of the stable, he saw food at the door. It must be Sahir's job. Suddenly, he entered the stable, took out the goats, closed the door, and sat straight in front of Eshan. He said, "First eat the eggs. Then I'll bring you milk. How about it?" If Eshan felt bad about it, he would admit it himself. He is not Jafar. His name is Eshan. Sahir surprised him and said, "I knew it long ago you are not Jafar. Have you come to kill Esma?" Eshan says no. He didn't come with any such intention. He has no one in his world. She doesn't even know where to go. Eshan stops her from touching Sahir's face. Shahi asks if she has a contagious disease. Hearing this, Eshan cries. She says she is not as beautiful as the others. Then Shahi makes fun of her. She says, "What do I care if you are beautiful? I have just gone out to find a groom for myself." As soon as she touches Shahi's face, she feels a scar and is shocked. "How did you become like this?" "I will never ask. because even if I am blind, I can feel your tears. And that is enough for me. Stay here as long as you want." Hearing this, Eshan holds her hand and cries. Just then, when Zuffer comes, he comes in to bring food for her, removes the cloth from the hole in the wall, and tells Esma to be calm and leaves. Sahir will now take Zuffer and visit the neighbors' houses in small groups. This will reduce their suspicions. When Sahir leaves, Eshan will tell him not to be afraid. "I have not come to harm him." Esma tells him not to think of her as a bad girl, because Esma's married cousin physically abused her, and if she got pregnant, he would threaten her. Otherwise, he would end her. But when the matter was discovered later, the family members along with their father and grandfather tried to kill Esma. Then her mother helped Esma escape, and she came to Sahir's house. The family members also came here to kill her, but Sahir hid her and saved her life. But how long will this go on? Because even if he wants to ruin the child, Sahir will not let him do so. So to save him from the neighbors, Sahir spreads a false rumor that Esma is in Istanbul. He does black magic. That's why everyone won't even mention his name. And since that day, Sahir has been protecting him until today. Eshan understands and says, "Esma, you have never become impure. Rather, the person who treated you badly or did bad things and made you lust are the real bad people." This is how the conversation between the two people on either side of the wall began. The wheel of time rolled around for a few weeks. Their relationship slowly turned into love. That hole in the wall has now become a small window, through which both food and flowers are passing. Esma has wanted to see his face many times. But Esma did not agree. He only assured her that he would not leave them. One day, Esma told him her heart. Maybe she had fallen in love with Eshan. This feeling was a new understanding for both of them, especially for a dead person. Sahir's small hut now doesn't seem like a palace to the two of them. If this is what love is all about, then Eshan will never leave Esma no matter how she looks at it. But one night, Esma's labor pains begin. Shahir says, "No matter what, just bear the pain and keep your mouth shut, otherwise everyone will find out." As soon as Eshan hears this, he quickly comes home. Once upon a time, Estin helped deliver many babies. So today, if he couldn't do this for Esma, his doctor-trained old man would be old. Eshan helped Esma deliver the baby by putting a cloth over her face. To make this beautiful moment memorable, Esma suddenly removed the cloth from Eshan's face during labor. A faint smile appeared, and a healthy baby was born with him. The most beautiful creation became the master of two lives. After so long since returning from death, Ezin got his first goal in life. However, it did not take long to notice this happiness. Hearing the child's cry, the villagers started to talk. But how long will it be like this? It is not like that when everyone raises a finger on Esma's character. So Esma tells Shahir, "Nanny, if you have permission, then call the imam. I want to marry Esma." As soon as Sahir hears this, he cries and hugs Esma. As soon as Zuffer comes, he says, "Take me to the imam. But today, don't hurry, but run as fast as you can. Come here, he is busy making wedding preparations. The house is decorated in new colors. Who will you invite for this? Nanny, come and handle it. Muzaffar will take care of the rest." With 1,000 worries in his mind, Muzaffar asked his son privately whether he had called Hamdi Baba or not. He was unprepared and said that he would not come without bringing gold coins and that he did not want him to spend money after all this. He would rather come and meet Asia after marriage. When he doubted this answer, Muzaffar asked him for the first and last time whether anyone had died because of Zia during his stay in Istanbul. If something like that had happened, he would save them. Zia sat speechless for a while. He could not think of an answer. Finally, he said, "No, nothing like that happened. You should rest assured." Muzaffar did not talk any further. He got busy with the wedding. On the other hand, while going to Imam's house, a group of horse riders suddenly arrived in the village. Sahir Jaffer came to know that they were heading towards his house. Because, after getting information from the villagers, his family members were coming to look for Esma. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. They shot Esma and killed her in front of Ishan. Ishan went completely crazy in this sudden incident. He killed everyone's eyes without any fear. The helpless Sahir rushed to save them. But by then, it was all over. Ishan stood speechless like a stone. Is this his punishment or a twist of fate? Before leaving the house, Ishan hanged the horse riders in front of the villagers and said that he would return again. Then if he sees that Sahir Jaffer and this child have been harmed, he will enter every house in the village, finish them off, hang their bodies like this, and burn the entire village. After wrapping Esma's body in a white cloth and loading it into a cart, before leaving the village, he told Jaffer to take care of the grandmother and the child, and don't worry, I promise to take Esma back. Hearing this, Sahir was surprised and looked at Esma. He took her and ran away, crossing rivers, forests, mountains, rain and snow. Nothing could stop him. On one side, the pain of losing the person he loved, and on the other, the light of the sun. Love has become a source of joy for some, while on the other, it is the destruction of others. The person who used to make someone smile has become silent today. The heart that had so much love has become silent. Today, that heart is frozen. Time has not stopped, but Esma's mind has stopped. On the day of farewell, when they reached a mountain, Esma's body was buried in the snow and marked a tree. He told Esma, "Wait, I will return." Thus I did not learn to accept fate easily. Then, Eshan attacked the city of Medanya and Bursa for his hunt. And mysteriously, on the way, he found the treasure that had been lost for ages and was still being talked about today. He saw a group approaching from afar, who were none other than Omar and his companion. Seeing this, Ishan had a terrible idea. ACI, in the meantime, said in a melodious voice, the wedding ceremony was over. Now the new couple left for their home in a horse-drawn carriage. They arrived at their new home and were getting ready for the first night of marriage. When Zia requested him to come after praying, he did not disobey her. Zia was busy praying, and then, in a flash of lightning, he was seen standing behind her like a devil. Ishan came home after finishing his prayer, and Zia was shocked when she couldn't see him. A cold current like ice flowed through her heart. "And how did you recognize me then?" "Look, I have learned to speak and can express my feelings. Death has followed me wherever I have gone. Death has taken away all those I loved. Like a living corpse, I have given death to everyone. And all this is your fault." Zia says, "Ustad Eshan, I will do whatever you say. Just don't do anything to Asai." Eshan can't think of what he will say when Asai is brought in front of him. What else has Zia hidden from him? Eshan says that when his own people are in mortal danger, only then does the other person care about them. And the only reason for this is love. That is exactly why I am in front of you now, driven by fate. Eshan tells Asia that he is taking Zia to build a machine to bring back life to the bodies of dead people. Eshan will only let her go if she builds the machine. Otherwise, he will finish Zia off. If Zia refuses to go, he will finish Asia off in front of her. He also warns her that if Asia tells the police or anyone in the house about it after leaving here, then Zia's life will be in danger. Because no matter what, Eshan will save his Esma. There is no other way. Asia understands that this man is none other than Ustad Eshan himself. She has heard his name before. While taking her away, Asia sheds tears and says that she will bring Zia back unharmed no matter what. Otherwise, neither she nor Zia's father will survive. Without answering, Eshan took Zia and set off towards the mountains, where Eshma's body was safe. Just as Zia had abandoned Eshan halfway and fled, he left the horse-drawn carriage on the forest path and took Zia on foot towards his destiny. Zia had turned Ishan into a devil. Fate does not always give him a chance to settle accounts. But if he gets it, he cannot let it go. Meanwhile, the poor man, without thinking about what to do, goes to Muzaffar to tell him everything that happened. On the way, Eshan also met Sahir and assured him that he would return. On the long journey, Eshan began to recount every memory of his return from the brink of death. On the day of his death, he was immersed in deep darkness. Although his body was weak, his mind was alert. He saw the time before and after death, how people will kill each other to fulfill their interests. The war of the gods, the epidemic, the buildings that are falling apart. But everything will collapse one day. On the last day of the world, when people go through hell, they will pray for heaven. Everything will be accounted for, because those who kill in the name of the Supreme Lord will burn their souls in the fire of hell. In the midst of all these scenes, Eshan got a second life at the call of someone, and that was Zia. Hearing this, Zia said that he had made a machine himself. He went after books like crazy, and the opportunity that Eshan got now was for Zia. Then Eshan angrily said that despite refusing that day, Zia had used him for a test. But needless to say, in this new life, Eshan realized many things. His people came close and then lost them. Ishan took him for a walk again. He told him the story of Darwin, Vasily, the circus, Hossein, Aliki, Sahir, and finally his only love, Ishma. Meanwhile, trouble has started at Muzaffar's house. When they want to go to the police, CA refuses because he saw sympathy in Ishan's eyes. Muzaffar says they can investigate on their own, if only they can find out where they went. Then, ACI tells him about the dead Ishan and the machine. He believes that when Ishan's house caught fire, Zia was there too. That's when Muzaffar remembers about the Book of Resurrection. That is, by hiding their answers in Ishan's house. Then they set off for Tambul. Zia's condition was getting worse day by day due to the extreme cold, but Eshan didn't stop. Carrying her on his back, He climbed the mountain. He would save Esma no matter what. Living in this world without love is worthless. For him, another name for heaven is Esma. Zia explained that they wouldn't be able to build the machine without manpower. But Eshan had thought of this too. Lured by the treasure in the mountain, they would take Omar's help to build the machine. Then Zia agreed to this proposal. But when he became very ill in the middle of the night, Eshan carried him on his shoulders and left him at Omar's camp. Saying this, Zia stopped. Omar looked at him in surprise. He couldn't believe this story. The whole thing was like a fairy tale told by his grandmother. Zia kept the incident of the treasure secret and took a deep breath, saying, "Maybe I'm bad. I've made many mistakes consciously or unconsciously. But even then, she didn't want to be bad for anyone. And maybe that's why she tried to show herself as good as she could in the story. But did she even succeed?" Omar said, "If you give me permission, Zia, I will write this story in my diary." Zia nodded her head and agreed. On the other hand, Asi and Muzaffar arrived at Eshan's house. But looking at the condition of the house, it didn't seem like anyone lived here. Just then, a momentary earthquake caused the entire area to collapse, and Zia's hidden book, the Book of Resurrection, came out from under the ground. On the other hand, with the sunrise, Ezin brings the treasure and puts it in front of Omar and tells Omar to divide it equally among everyone. But due to greed for money, everyone turns against each other. First, a fight, and then the shooting starts. Ezin Omar Zia is surprised by this incident. Many of the group died in the firing, and this sudden incident killed Zia. Eshan ran to him. He hugged him, but it was too late. Before taking his last breath, Zia said, "If you can, Ustad, please forgive me." Time passed, and the afternoon began to fall. Everyone had to return safely from the mountains. But Eshan, having lost everything, is clinging to Zia. "Omar, wherever I went, death did not leave my side. And look, the one I came to forget death for whose help I had come has also left me." Eshan said, "Give some of the secret treasure to Nana Sahir and the child. And in Mudania City, tell the unfortunate ACI about his death, because I could not keep his word. Even if I wanted to, I would not be able to see Eshma's child now, because I have no more strength. I don't want anyone to die for me again." Omar forced him to go with them many times. But Eshan wouldn't agree, because there was no other way forward. From today, Eshan's relationship with humanity was over. Eshan said goodbye to everyone and walked forward with Zia on the mountain in the snowstorm, where Eshma was waiting below ground. As soon as Omar put his hand in his pocket with wet eyes, he saw that Zia had written a letter to Asiya without his knowledge. It said, "Captain, if I don't return, then tell Asiya to forget me and move on in life. Let her forgive me and say goodbye from her heart for life forever. Only then will my soul find peace." Asiya was, is, and will be the most beautiful chapter of my life. Days and months passed by, countless hours passed. Returning to his own family, Omar first went to give Nana Sahir a share of the treasure. Then he went to Asi's house. But he didn't have the courage to confront him. He just left Zia's letter in front of the door. In the rain, Asi ran like crazy to look for his Zia, but he never returned. Omar wrote in his diary that science is never a curse for mankind. Rather, human pride, stubbornness, and karma are the biggest curses for them. In this battle of life, we will all lose people close to us. That is the future, but I will never lose my hope because of that. And now if you don't believe me, get up and go out in search of something new. But don't forget to go to that mountain as proof. Maybe there you will find Eshan waiting beside Eshma's grave, still wishing for death from the guardian.